All Lily wanted was a meal. Instead, she was humiliated in front of everyone, until one quiet decision turned the tables forever. When Lily was told, "This place isn't for people like you," she didn't argue. She didn't leave. She did something far worse. Lily had learned, over the years, how to make herself small. Not physically, she stood tall, shoulders straight, but emotionally. She'd learned how to swallow comments, how to smile through awkward pauses, how to pretend not to notice when people looked past her instead of at her. Life had taught her that sometimes it was easier to stay quiet than to ask why. It had been a long Thursday. The kind that starts before sunrise and never quite ends. Lily worked 2 jobs, one as a freelance graphic designer, the other as a night cashier at a pharmacy because dreams didn't pay rent on their own. She was saving for something specific, something she hadn't told many people about yet. Something that mattered. Dinner wasn't a luxury that night. It was survival. The restaurant sat on the corner of a busy downtown street, warm light spilling through the windows like an invitation. The sign above the door glowed softly, promising comfort, good food, and a short break from the world. Lily had passed it dozens of times but never gone in. Tonight, she decided she deserved it. That night, though, she was tired. Lily stepped inside, the bell above the door chiming gently. The smell hit her first: garlic, butter, grilled meat, fresh bread. Her stomach tightened painfully. The place wasn't fancy, but it wasn't cheap either. Wooden tables, low lighting, soft music humming in the background. People laughed quietly over plates of food, glasses clinking. For a moment, Lily just stood there, breathing it in. A hostess glanced up, then down at the tablet in her hands. "I'll be with you in a moment," she said, without a smile. Lily nodded and waited. A minute passed, then 2, then 5. A couple walked in behind her, well-dressed and confident. The hostess immediately looked up, brightened, and greeted them warmly. "Table for 2, she asked. "Yes," the woman replied. "Right this way." They were seated instantly. Lily shifted her weight, heat creeping up her neck. She told herself not to read into it. Maybe they had a reservation. Maybe the hostess hadn't seen her properly. Another server walked past, then another. Finally, Lily cleared her throat softly. "Excuse me," she said. "I'm just here to." The hostess cut her off without looking up. "We're full." Lily blinked. "Oh, I don't mind waiting." The hostess sighed, visibly annoyed now, and finally met Lily's eyes. Her gaze flicked over Lily's clothes, simple jeans, worn sneakers, a plain jacket, and lingered just a little too long. "We're not taking any more walk-ins," she said flatly. Lily glanced around. She could see at least 3 empty tables. "I can see open seats," Lily said gently. "I just need one." The hostess's jaw tightened. "Those are reserved." "For when?" Lily asked, her voice still calm. The hostess didn't answer. Instead, she turned away. Something in Lily's chest cracked. She stood there, invisible again, surrounded by warmth she wasn't allowed to touch. A familiar humiliation settled over her, heavy and bitter. She considered leaving. She almost did. That old instinct to shrink, to disappear, tugged at her hard. But then she remembered the email she'd read that morning. The one that said, "We regret to inform you." The one that reminded her how often doors closed quietly in her face. So she stayed. "I'd like to speak to the manager," Lily said. The hostess scoffed. "He's busy." "I'll wait," Lily replied. The hostess rolled her eyes and disappeared through a swinging door. People were starting to notice now. A few diners glanced over, curious. Lily felt exposed, her heart pounding. She clasped her hands together to stop them from shaking. After what felt like forever, a man in his early 40s approached. He wore a crisp button-down shirt and the confident expression of someone used to being obeyed. "I'm the manager," he said briskly. "What seems to be the problem?" Lily explained calmly. She kept her tone respectful, careful not to sound emotional. She pointed out the empty tables, the refusal to seat her, the dismissal. The manager listened with crossed arms, his face unreadable. When she finished, he said, "Ma'am, we have the right to refuse service." "I understand that," Lily replied. "But I'd like to know why." He didn't hesitate. "Our restaurant has a certain atmosphere. We try to maintain it." The words were polite. The meaning was not. Lily felt it then, the sting behind her eyes, the tightness in her throat. Around them, the room had gone uncomfortably quiet. People pretended not to listen, but they were. "So I don't fit the atmosphere?" Lily asked quietly. The manager shrugged. "I'm just saying this might not be the place for you." There it was. Clear, sharp, unavoidable. "I see," Lily said. She reached into her bag slowly. The manager watched, impatient, clearly expecting her to leave. Instead, Lily pulled out her phone. She tapped the screen, hands steady now. Too steady. "I don't want to cause a scene," she said. "But I am recording this conversation." The manager's expression flickered. "You can't do that." "I can," Lily replied. "This is a public space." A murmur rippled through the restaurant. The manager leaned in closer, lowering his voice. "Look, let's not make this difficult. Just go somewhere else." Lily met his eyes. "I already have." He frowned. What does that mean? She pressed one more button on her phone and slid it across the host stand toward him. Before I came in, Lily said, I was supposed to meet someone here. He's running late. The manager glanced at the screen, annoyed. Then his face changed. Color drained from it so fast it was almost frightening. His eyes darted back to Lily. This is the email confirmation. Yes, Lily said. That's the email confirmation. The room felt suddenly smaller. You see, Lily continued, her voice calm but unwavering, I'm a journalist. I've been investigating discriminatory practices in local businesses for the past 6 months. Anonymous tips, patterns, complaints. The hostess froze. The manager swallowed hard. This restaurant, Lily said, came up more than once. A woman at a nearby table gasped softly. I didn't want to believe it, Lily went on. So tonight, I decided to see for myself. She gestured subtly around the room. Hidden camera glasses, audio recording, time stamps. The manager took a step back. You denied me service, Lily said. Not because you were full. Not because of reservations, but because I didn't match your idea of who belongs here. That's not, he startled. My editor is on his way, Lily interrupted. So is a civil rights attorney. The silence was suffocating now. This footage, Lily said, lifting her phone, will be published tomorrow morning. Along with statements from former employees and former customers. The manager's mouth opened, then closed. What would you like to do next? Lily asked. For the first time since he'd walked out, he looked afraid. I apologize, he said quickly. There's been a misunderstanding. Please, let us seat you. On the house. Lily smiled. It wasn't a kind smile. No, she said. I'm not hungry anymore. She picked up her phone and turned toward the door. As she walked out, people stared, some ashamed, some stunned, some quietly impressed. The bell chimed again, sharp and final. Outside, the night air was cool against her face. Lily paused on the sidewalk, heart racing, emotions crashing over her all at once, anger, relief, sadness, pride. Her phone buzzed. Where are you? The text read. I just pulled up. She typed back, right outside. And, you're going to want to see this footage. Across the street, she saw him, her editor eyes already scanning the restaurant with interest. Lily didn't have to explain much. The moment her editor, Mark, stepped onto the sidewalk and saw her face, the calm fury barely contained, he knew this wasn't just another lead. Show me, he said. They stood under a flickering streetlight as Lily played the footage. The audio was clear, the hostess's tone, the manager's words. This place isn't for you. We try to maintain a certain atmosphere. Mark didn't interrupt. He didn't react, but Lily had worked with him long enough to recognize that silence. When the video ended, he exhaled slowly. This is clean, he said. Too clean. He looked back at the restaurant, then at Lily. And you're sure about the others? Lily nodded. 4 former employees. 7 customer complaints. Similar language. Same manager. Mark's jaw tightened. All right, he said. Then we don't sit on this. He pulled out his phone and started walking. Not away from the restaurant, toward it. Where are you going? Lily asked. To make sure they don't get the chance to spin this. By midnight, the wheels were already turning. Mark sent the footage to legal first. Not to ask if they could publish, but how fast. Then he called their investigations team. Then their civil rights correspondent. Then, finally, their publisher. By 2:47 a.m., the headline was locked. Denied for not fitting the atmosphere inside a pattern of discrimination at a downtown restaurant. The article didn't just tell Lily's story. It showed the receipts, video and audio timestamps, internal scheduling records from former staff, screenshots of emails where the manager instructed hosts to use discretion with walk-ins. Statements from patrons who had been turned away with the same vague language. By sunrise, the story was live. By 8 a.m., it was everywhere. Shared by activists, picked up by local stations, quoted by national outlets. By noon, the restaurant's Google rating had collapsed. By 1 p.m., the city's Human Rights Commission announced a formal investigation. By 3 p.m., the restaurant closed, temporarily. Mark stood in the newsroom watching the numbers climb. This, he said quietly, is why we do the job. At first, the manager tried to deny it. He released a statement calling the incident a misunderstanding and claimed Lily had been aggressive and uncooperative. The footage destroyed that narrative in under an hour. Then he blamed staff. Former employees responded with screenshots. Then he went silent. 2 days later, the restaurant's ownership group released a second statement. The manager had been terminated effective immediately. But that wasn't the end. The investigation uncovered more than discrimination. There were labor violations, unpaid overtime, retaliation against employees who complained. Within weeks, the restaurant paid a 6-figure settlement. Mandatory bias training was imposed on the ownership group. The location lost its liquor license pending review. A civil lawsuit was filed on behalf of multiple denied patrons. The manager didn't appear in public again. His name vanished from the company website. His LinkedIn went dark. In a city where reputation was everything, he became someone people stopped returning calls for. Someone's door quietly closed on. And Lily didn't become famous. She didn't want to. She wrote the follow-up piece herself. Not angry, not vengeful, precise, unflinching, human. She included voices that had been ignored for years. And at the end of the article, one line stood out: discrimination survives when people stay silent. It collapses when someone decides not to leave. The story won an award 3 months later. Because the night she walked into that restaurant hungry, she didn't just expose a manager. She reminded everyone watching that dignity doesn't ask for permission. And once spoken out loud, the truth never goes back to being quiet. They thought they could make her feel small. Instead, they gave her a voice powerful enough to be heard everywhere. This isn't just a story, it's a reminder. On ACG Stories, the truth always finds its way to the surface. If you believe every story deserves to be told, join this community. Hit like, share this video, and subscribe, because together, we make these voices impossible to ignore. Thanks for watching.